Okay. Hey, we're live again. Should have drank before I did that, but hello everyone. Welcome to the That's I guess better. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's causing. God, it's annoying. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the hello everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. Um, why am I getting warnings for audio bit rate? No, my audio's working, right? I was actually ready for this stream, and now I have warnings. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I was actually prepared for this live, and nothing's wanting to work, I guess, correctly for some reason. Okay, either way. Yep, we are live. Oh, that camera's making me mad. I don't know why. I have autofocus turned off, and that one is just freaking out on me. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Actually prepared for this one. I actually was ready for this one, kinda. Except I have random issues now because I'm having a audio warning on OBS. But anyway, we are finally live again. Possibly. Am I? Yeah, OBS is streaming. YouTube live. I have no idea if YouTube's even streaming live right now. I know TikTok's going, so that's good. Can you hear me? Because I'm getting an audio warning. It's telling me that my audio is not working. Okay, that's weird. That's weird then, because yeah, streaming software is saying I'm not live. Awesome. Anyway, yes, I have the camera angle wrong. Yay. All right. So anyway, yes, we are live and more Apple fun stuff. This video stream is going to be focusing a little bit on this low serial numbered early revision Apple IIe. I need to fix that angle because it's just like pointing straight up at that light. But yeah, a little bit of a we're going to be taking a look at this Apple IIe. Like I said, it was one that I got from all of this Apple stuff over the past basically year. This one came from the former technician from Apple from the very early 80s. And well, yes, it's in pieces now. It wasn't in pieces when I got it. I took it apart primarily because the one of the cards in it, which is a thunder clock, which is basically a kind of a battery save feature, much like a CMOS battery or something in a PC. The batteries leaked, corroded, and got all over the board. And I have no idea if anything was permanently damaged or not. Now, honestly, I didn't think I was going to do a live stream on this Apple IIe, but I think I've been having some fun with doing live streams, and I kind of figured it'd be kind of a fun, fun live stream, even if things go horribly wrong. And here it is in all of its many, many pieces. I'm going to fix that camera angle real quick. Seriously, why is it trying to autofocus? I have that turned off. I swear I do. Okay. Anyway, stop auto. That is going to be annoying. I am watching my Why is it autofocusing? 1 second. Why is it doing that? I have that turned off. Okay, I don't know why I'm having... There. It's off now. I know it is. I know it's off. Okay. Anyway, yes, this is the early revision, low serial numbered Apple IIe, and I say low serial number kind of loosely there. There are much lower serial numbers than this one. And yeah, and you'll see why it's an early revision here in a second. But anyway, yeah, it's a forgotten pieces when I first got this. It was all intact, minus it was missing this top cover piece, which usually would not be that big of a deal, especially for an Apple IIe. 2Es are very common, very synonymous. In fact, I have 2 of them. One's back here behind me, the 2E Enhanced, and then I have the non-enhanced upstairs when I was doing some ADT Pro stuff. But the early revision Apple IIes were actually vastly different than the more iconic later ones. Yeah, the reason why this one's taken apart is, like I said before, the Thunderclock battery saver leaked all over the board and got a bunch of corrosion all over a couple of the slots. And I actually have, past it, I don't know anything else about this machine. He's obviously, he said it worked when he put it in storage, but that was 40 years ago. But there is a lot of differences between this early 2E and some of the more iconic one, or one of the more later ones. One of the main ones is the main shell here, which we're going to get out of the way real quick. And yes, we'll get into testing this thing here in a second. I just want to get everything kind of sorted real quick. So this is the top shell of the Apple II, the early Apple IIes, and I'm going to talk about this real quick as to why me finding a top shell for this might be a kind of a pain in the neck. The very early Apple IIes were kind of not supposed to happen. Apple developed and released the Apple II, then the II Plus, and then they started development on the Apple III, which is torn apart behind me from the last live stream. I'm still messing with that. The Apple III was supposed to replace the entirety of the Apple II line, but because of several issues, mainly Steve Jobs' insistence on it being silent and having no cooling fans, it started having a bunch of hardware issues. It was high priced. It was whatever. Basically, Apple figured out that, oh, hey, we actually do need the Apple II line to continue making money. So they effectively just took the Apple II style case and put up the updated board for the 2E, which was basically an enhanced version of the 2 and 2 Plus, hence the 2E, E standing for enhanced. And yes, the double, I don't know the word for it, the doubleness of the 2E enhanced, meaning enhanced. But anyway, this kind of posed a bit of a problem because after this, they redesigned the Apple IIe shell to be kind of more cost effective, I guess. And the early Apple IIe top shell here, this section here, the lid, is actually not common to come across at all, effectively. The Apple II Plus lid does fit on these. And there is a clear polyacrylic one that's out there that's being modernly made, which looks really cool. I might have to pick one of those up because I don't know if the original owner has this shell anymore, or this top lid anymore. That and the other difference, real quick before I get to testing the motherboard, is the mounting screws are completely different, so I can't take this base plate and put on a different shell. It's completely different. That and the Apple logo is the part that lights up instead of on the later ones, it's just a light, that little green light that shows. So yeah, I'm actually really happy to have a very early model 2E, even though it is going to be the biggest pain in the neck trying to find this top lid. Anyway, on to testing this motherboard. and seeing if anything actually works. So this is the Apple IIe motherboard that came in this thing. Unfortunately, even though this is a low serial numbered bottom plate and shell, this is not the original motherboard that came in it. This is not a revision A motherboard from 1982. This is actually from 1983. This is the revision that actually went into the current, or I guess current, Apple IIes. In fact, this one appears to have been modified a little bit with the enhanced chipset, because this does have a 65 CO2 processor. So this has been updated to be in the to be enhanced. It is a little annoying because I was kind of hoping to have found the matching board for a early revision shell like that, because the early 2Es just, they're kind of hard. They're hard to come across and all that kind of stuff. So I'm never going to find the actual revision A board. So honestly, if this board is dead, realistically, this is going to be a display piece anyway, just because of its historical, provenance of being an early low serial numbered machine. But I would really like to see, just see if this board's got any life in it, because there was a lot of corrosion on this board. In fact, the card that was in it, there's a lot of cards in here actually, a lot of weird ones. Was here in slot 4, and these batteries leaked and just went all over these 3 slots, all over these chips, and kind of settled on the board. There is still some discoloration in slot 4. So for all I know, there could be bad traces, there could be a bunch of stuff. So hopefully this thing can show a little bit of life. The other difference between this and the more common 2Es that are out there is the keyboard. And it still has the same layout as the 2E keyboard, but the switches are vastly different. In fact, it's kind of a hybrid between the 2 and 2 Plus's keyboard and the 2Es, later 2Es keyboards. I'm going to be stumbling over that the entire time because I'm going to be saying 2E too many times. But yeah, it's yellowed. It's really badly yellowed. That's one thing I'm going to be doing in this video too, is pulling all the keys off and getting them cleaned later on and get ready for retro brighting. The shell, I don't need to retro bright. It's just nasty and dirty. But yeah, the keyboard's, it's kind of a cross between the 2 Plus and the later 2Es. It's got kind of the key switch feeling of the 2 Plus, but it's got the layout of the 2E. In fact, the font is actually vastly different than the later 2Es. Am I getting another warning? No, okay. Sorry, I'm not looking at the TikTok stream. I'm looking at my YouTube stream. It keeps giving me a weird audio bitrate error, which is weird because my my moderator says that my audio is fine. And I trust my moderator because she's my wife. And she would never lie to me about that. Okay. So, hopefully the goal is with this is that if this does, I just realized I don't have the 2Es floppy drive down here. Crud. I left it upstairs on my desk. But anyway, hopefully we can get this thing to show at least some signs of life here. So first things first is, I guess, testing the power supply and making sure that it's got the right voltages. I actually did not, in a TikTok live stream, I think a couple weeks ago, I went through all of my Apple II power supplies minus the 2GS's, and I pulled out all of the cracked and about to blow reefa caps. So hopefully they all still work. You don't need the reefa caps for these things to work, but it's always a good idea too. I'm just now kind of realizing I don't have the right tip for that. I don't. Okay. let's see if this thing shows any sort of power. So yeah, no, it's the that almost white looking 5.5 drive that's sitting on the corner of my desk. You didn't have to get it. Okay, so anyway, the previous owner did update this. This is the non-enhanced board. It's the revision B board, not the true revision A. Basically, we're just repeating this for anyone who's joining in now. Because it's also got the updated CD and EF ROMs, and it says it has a new video ROM, which the ROM number that's on here, it says new video ROM 27324. That is a different number than what's on my 2 enhanced behind me, so I don't know if this has got some sort of weird. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Never mind, I have a quieter drive. Okay, so now I can actually test. Now I actually can test this thing if it does show any life. Let's see if it'll boot something. Anyway, so anyone who's joining, we are taking a look at a early Apple IIe. In fact, I probably should, while I'm thinking about it, the serial number of this, the reason why I say it's a low serial number, it's a 4-digit number. It is A2S2, or Apple II, or 2E, 01668. Yeah, it's just a 4-digit serial number. Which, the fact that I found any Apple product with just a low serial number, it's just astonishing. But anyway, at some point the previous owner did update the board to the revision B board. This is not the original board. Which is fine because the very early revision A's actually couldn't do certain things. It had a problem with, I think it had a problem with the 64K 80 column card, and it also had a problem with the double high-res graphics that was in very synonymous with the 2Es. But the fact that he updated the board to revision B and then he updated the board again to the enhanced chipset is actually really nice. In fact, I think what I might do is, this is far off stretching here, if this board does work, I might swap the all the CPU, CD, EF, and video ROM and put it into the non-enhanced, and then put the non-enhanced stuff into this one to de-enhance this board. Anyway, let's see if we have any sort of issues with this. So we got the power supply powered into power. Do not have it plugged into the board yet, because I just want to see if this thing has good powers. Okay. DC volts. Ooh, I'm not getting good voltages. Is the chassis ground? Oh, there we go. No, I lost it. I have it for a split second, then it goes away. Yeah, it goes to, what was that? The voltage goes up to, like, on the 5-volt rail, it goes up to 3, and then it drops to like nothing. 12-volt rail is 8. Oh, no, that ain't good. This power supply not be good. Well, I think these power supplies have to have a load on them. So that could be a possibility. So let's check to see if there's any issues with this board. Now, hopefully when I touch ground and any of the voltage lines, I should have no continuity. If I have continuity, I am in trouble. Which one is ground? This far one's ground. And basically what this is doing is just seeing if I have any of these caps that are dead shorted. And I don't. And that's also basically checking to see if there's any dead shorts across any of these ICs. If there's a dead short across any of these ICs from like a trace or anything like that, I would have gotten the warning beep. Okay, so I don't think I have any. Okay. Pinout for C502. Let's see if there's any dead shorts. Okay. So I'm not getting any shorts so far on this board. This board might actually be good. I guess I don't know. I haven't. It might be. And what's nice is that everything is socketed. So if there is any issues, I can just pop these things out. There is some corrosion still right here on this resistor for this LS166, which I think is part of the RAM circuit. So there might be a RAM issue. I guess we will find out when I put power to this. So I have no dead shorts on capacitors. I don't have any dead shorts with any ICs. So I guess just see what happens. I can't read my chat. It might. No, don't say sorry. Okay. All right. So hopefully no explosions. If I do, I have a bottle of water if anything catches fire. Let's see if anything happens. I got a power LED. Where's there a good ground? I think the ground would be... Okay, that's ground. All right, do I have proper voltages across the board? I have 12 volt. I have 5 volt. I have 0 there. That's good though, because there's not supposed to be anything there. Do I have 12 volt the CPU? And I'm just now realizing I had the wrong CPU picked. I had the 6502, this is the 65C02. So, back to ground. Okay. Well, I'm getting good powers and grounds at the CPU, and that is the important one. I do have a power LED. So let's try plugging in a monitor and just seeing if there's any life here. I don't know. I'm actually pretty excited. Do I have a monitor? Ooh, I do. guess any excuse to use my Apple III monitor here. Like I need an excuse to use retro hardware. Now, I actually don't know the behavior of the enhanced 2E ROM set, because I want to say that the enhanced one should automatically go into like some sort of self-diagnostics thing. So is that on? Yep. So it should just go into self-diagnostics mode without the keyboard plugged in. So hopefully we're going to see what happens. And I'm going to watch it from my recording here. Welp. Okay, well, I got no life. Okay, so I have no video output, so that's start popping chips off and seeing if there's any corrosion on anything. I see something happening, but is that actually... No. Okay, so... And yeah, basically I'm just popping the chips up and putting them back in the socket. Because sometimes there can just be a tiny little bit of crud on the pins, and this is going to just break it loose just enough to regain contact. I'm doing this to all the major ICs, MMU, the IOU, the CPU. I do see a bent pin. Could that be a thing? Oh! Okay, that's normal, I think, because I took the CPU out. So, it is possible this thing might actually be working. If not, I do have a spare 2E Platinum board that was e-waste scrap, but I don't want to pull any chips off that because that's being sent to another YouTuber to fix one of his Apple IIs. So I don't want to pull any chips off that if I don't have to. Hey! That's normal. That's doing it self-diagnostics. Yeah. I can't tell if it's right though. Yeah, looks right. Okay. So let's plug in this keyboard, which I have no idea. I guess I have no idea if this keyboard works. And if it doesn't, I have at least 1 or 2 spares. Pin 1 should be down here. I just realized this is very janky. There's no like guide pin for the floppy or the floppy keyboard connector. Does that say Apple II? Apple IIe. Yeah. Yes. This board's working. Okay. Don't know if people on TikTok land can see it, but yeah, it says Apple IIe, which is not technically correct. The original Apple IIe, the first revision, revision A, and then the later non-enhanced 2E should just say Apple II. So, and I can put it in this diagnostic mode. Awesome. Oh, that makes me so happy. This board's just working. Shockingly, ironically, it's just working. And it should say like kernel okay or something. System okay. That's about trip. Yes. It lives. It lives. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, okay. I don't have a speaker plugged in yet to know if anything's fully working. But my wife decided to bring me a floppy drive, so we're going to see if this thing can at least boot into something. Like, this makes me happier than heck. Because, I mean, yeah, it's silly for me to get excited the fact that I have a working Apple IIe, because I have one behind me and I have one upstairs that both technically work. This one just has a broken key and I have yet to restore them. But yeah, the fact that this thing is just working. Oh, this is kind of awesome. I need a boot disk. I have all these unorganized because I was doing stuff. Oh, ProDOS. This should work. All right. Boot to something. Yes. And I have ProDOS. Doesn't look right though. There's a lot of corrosion on this board. Was there any bad? No. There's no bad. Yeah, no, that's fine. Everything just seems to work. Go to basic. Whoops. Okay. Okay, I spoke too soon. The space bar does not work. But does every other key work? Seems to be, yeah. keyboard works except the space bar. Oh, dang it. I was kind of hoping that it just... because the problem is with this keyboard, this is one of the... I think this is one of the annoying ones that the Apple II Plus had. Or was similar, where the only way for me to get that keycap out is I have to desolder it. And, oh, somebody's already... Looks like they've already desoldered that once before. Yeah, that's the only key that's not working. It's a space bar. Do I have a game I can try really quick? I do somewhere. Well, I wanted this to be a quick stream, and actually happened. See if it loads a game. Can't do much with a bad space bar, but okay, that's not too bad though, because I do have a spare 2E keyboard I could put in here. The keys are just really sticky, and I don't want to use it. But I guess if all else fails, I could. Hey, yeah. Skyfox is working just fine, and that looks really good on this monochrome monitor. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I do want to... Oh, no, I don't. So, I'm going to start getting this thing cleaned up and put back together. This is unbelievable. Really wasn't expecting this thing to just work. Come on. Oof. Oops. My meter did not like that. But yeah, I wanted this to be a kind of a shorter stream because I kind of went over time on the last ones. But yeah, the fact that this thing is just kind of working is unreal, actually. Except for the space bar. That's the only thing that's not working on the keyboard. But that's kind of a hit or miss thing with this, because on the one hand, that's fine if that's the only thing that doesn't work. It is going to be just a kind of a display piece. But the main bummer with that is that that kind of means that I have to swap keyboards out of this, and that's kind of a problem because this is an older style keyboard for this earlier 2E style. I don't know if the mounting points for the later 2Es are the same as the earlier ones. Okay. So, get this thing, at least mostly, put back together. And yeah, like I said, I took this thing apart primarily because I want to get that corrosion off, and I took it to work and cleaned it with some chemicals to get it all off. So yeah, it's going to be kind of neat to have this thing all put back together again. And I will admit, there's this computer does have one oddity to it that's the later 2Es doesn't, besides the base plate being way different. There's a lot of dust on there. Holy crap. I already cleaned this thing once. And that is the external numpad that was for the 2E, which I have some. They plug into a little multi-pin header here. Well, this one has the header adapter that goes to a D-sub connector, which is not common at all. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this machine, to be honest. It's such a low serial number. It's in somewhat pretty good shape. It's got little scuffs on the bottom. But, yeah, it's one of those weird oddities. It's like, I already have 2 other working ones. So if this one didn't work, I wasn't going to be too upset about it. What does that say? Oh, just the AI TikTok summary. That makes it look like somebody commented. But yeah, it's like I've got 2 other Apple IIe's. So realistically, I didn't need this one to work. It was just, I was kind of curious if it did, because the amount of corrosion on there was gonna kind of be hit or miss. I mean, I guess I could. Well, actually, no, I don't have a... I was about to say I could take this to VCF Midwest this year, but I'm not going as a contributor or a creator. I'm going as just a patron to see things, so... Okay. Get this put back in here. And yes, I'm primarily putting this thing back together for right now just because I am going to be pulling the chips off this to swap out the enhanced chipset here that's in this one and put it in the non-enhanced, which means I'll have 2 enhanced ones, but I would kind of like to get this one back to being the non-enhanced, just because I think it'd be a little better that way. Whether or not that's actually accurate, I don't know. And I mainly want to get this thing put back together because, A, it works. Works well. Works very well. And, well, it's been in pieces for months. This is actually part of the first wave of stuff I got from that gentleman. And I've had this thing taken apart for like, I don't know, when I think, since February, March, I immediately took this thing apart because I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was. Because any battery corrosion from these old computers that, where the CMOS battery leaks, is just, it's just awful. Like, there's so many horror stories of like even something that just started leaking. The batteries on a lot of these old machines are just so corrosive that leaving any residue can cause problems in even just a few weeks. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start taking this keyboard apart so I can get the keys at least cleaned and retro-brighted. And yeah, like I said, I'm not too concerned about the spacebar key not working. Just because of the fact it is going to be mostly a display model. I am going to be getting the... I need to take a picture of that real quick. Some of the keys on here don't fully match. I'm not sure why. And yes, this one is especially going to be cut up as a video for later. I've been trying to do that with some of my live streams, but I've been having some really weird issues with my computer lately. Yeah, this uses those really annoying keys that some of the Apple II Plus keyboards had that are just, they're impossible to fix. So even if I could find a way to get this spacebar key working again, like if I had a spare keycap or key switch or something, I just probably won't ever work again. Not sure if anyone new has been joining us, but this live stream is kind of a short one. Mainly because I plan it to be short, and also because we were working on a low serial numbered Apple IIe. And by low serial number, the serial number on this one, on the case anyway, is 1668. So it's a very, very low serial number, which is surprising that it got in my hands. And we were trying to see if it had any life in it. It had a leaking battery on a Thunderclock card that, like, most of that board was covered in nastiness, and I'm really surprised it cleaned up as well as it did. And I'm also really surprised that it just worked, surprisingly. And the only thing that didn't work, it did boot. It boots ProDOS. It booted a game. It went to the self-diagnostics when the keyboard was unplugged, which is completely normal. Okay, I'm not sure why that spacebar key switch does not work. I'm kind of curious. Where'd my meter just go? Where did my meter just go? Did I just wrap it up because it was annoying because there it is. It was beeping? I'm just kind of curious because it's just so weird that it just didn't work. Okay, so where is this one? I'm not going to be doing this live stream too much longer. I do want to have it be cut a little bit short. It is a school night for my kids, so I don't want to spend too much time messing with stuff now that I know that it does work. Yeah, no, it doesn't complete. Yeah, that key switch might be bad, which is really problematic because, yeah, in order to replace that key switch or even clean it, you're gonna love this. I have to desolder well, not every one, but I have to desolder the main spacebar one that's not working and pull it out of here, and then Hopefully I can take it apart and clean it, but more than likely that's not a that's not a thing, unfortunately. But the keyboard's actually not too dirty. It's really not under the keys. Yeah, it's actually not dirty. It's just dusty. So yeah, I will be cleaning that. I'm not 100% certain if I want to attempt to fix that keyboard or not. The main problem is, like I've said, the key switches on these uh, early 2E boards and the later Apple II Plus boards, keyboards were god awful to work on. You almost couldn't replace them without damaging them. And that's not something I want to do. Like I said, I do have somewhere. I know I did. I did have a spare. Yes. I do have a spare 2E keyboard from a later 2E. In fact, I think this is from a 2E Enhanced. But as you can see, the keys are vastly different. These are more of a gray color. These are more of a brown color, which even when I retrobrite these might not come much different than this color. Even the open and close Apple logo are different. Some of the keys are sticky. I mean, I guess if I really needed to, I really wanted this thing to be 100% functional, I could just swap out. Ooh, can I just swap out the keys? Could I do that? You know what? I actually probably could. I could just swap out, I guess, maybe, I don't know if this keyboard works either. I probably should try that at some point. Is I need to restore this keyboard too, because it is dirty as well, and it does, like I said, have some sticky keys. I need to spray some alcohol or deoxit or something in this keyboard. It is sticky. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if I fully want to try and repair this board, because I don't fully know if I want this board to be in service here in my computer room. It's very neat that it's a very early Apple IIe computer, but it doesn't have the original motherboard. It has a revision B board, which is what basically came in the later 2Es. It does not have the original A revision board, which is both a bummer but also a blessing, because those had some compatibility issues with the. I want to say I remember reading the 64K card had issues, but this is definitely going to be a kind of a display piece, talking piece, because it is a early revision Apple IIe. Not that I fully need to have it working. Like I said, this live stream was just more of a curiosity, and now that everything does work, I'm kind of at a crossroads of, do I fully repair this thing and get it fully up and working so that I do have a working early 2E, or do I just have it be good enough right now because it is partially working, just with one key not working, and just have it be a wall piece, display piece, I guess, whatever I plan to do with it. Obviously, should I ever go to a convention like VCF Midwest, and I actually do decide to have a booth or something, which I don't know if I will for the first few times, I could take it with and, have it be kind of a display thing, like, hey, look, it's a working early revision 2E that got restored. But I'm actually deciding I'm going to end the stream here in just a few minutes. I want to. I know I didn't get a whole lot of stuff done. Like I said, I was actually not. I actually planned on being a short stream anyway, because I wasn't fully expecting this to show any life with the amount of corrosion that was on it, and the fact that it basically ran through self-diagnostics and was able to boot a couple floppies is more than good enough for what I wanted. So I'm going to be scrubbing this case and stuff and recording some footage of that for a uh, restoration video because I am going to be releasing, cutting this stuff up and putting it in the restoration video. I do have video of me taking this thing apart. I'm going to have video of me cleaning these keys and getting them retro brighted. So at the very least, the keyboard will be complete and intact, and then maybe at a future date, I'll uh, restore this keyboard as well, get the keys not sticky, and maybe I'll just swap keycaps over and then have a fully working uh, early 2E. That's just, I guess I don't know yet. But I am really excited and really happy that this early model 2E works. It works. Against all odds, it wasn't supposed to. I am dubious about that slot 4 working ever again. I do know a couple of pins look extremely corroded, even though I got all the corrosion off. So I don't know if that slot will ever work again, which is fine because I think slot 4 was really meant for things like the Thunder Clock and I believe some hard drive controllers. Oh. Okay. I guess due to inactivity with my live, they was warning me that my live was going to end, which is funny because I'm about to end my live anyway. Thanks, TikTok. Appreciate it. Anyway, yes, thank you all so much for watching this live stream. I really hope you enjoyed taking a look at this early model 2E and being surprised as I am that this thing just lives. I am going to, after the stream, I am going to be cleaning these keycaps and getting them ready for retro brighting and see if any of these will kind of return to a normal color. Some of them are in a lot different shade of brown than the other ones, which is just kind of odd to me, but now that I'm looking at them, the parts that weren't exposed to anything are the same color, it looks like. So yeah, gonna be cleaning the keyboard caps cleaned up, retro brighted, and then put back on here to get the keyboard fully intact. I'll see if I can do any research on this particular model of keyboard. Maybe I'm wrong and this thing actually can have the key switch replaced somewhat easily. I guess, I don't know. We'll have to see once I do a little more research. The next time you see this Apple IIe, it will either be on display or it will be actually being used as something. I guess I don't know. It's weird. I wasn't expecting it to work, and now it does work. So I have 3 working 2Es that all are in various needs of finishing. This one needs to be finished for getting cleaned up and ready for display. My 2E Enhanced needs the keyboard replaced or fixed as well because it's got a broken keycap. And my other 2E is upstairs. That is literally, I have not taken the reefer cap out of that one. So that one could pop at any second, I guess, which would just be annoying. Anyway, again, I'm going to be in the stream here in a second. Thank you all for watching this, and a shorter planned stream anyway, because I really wasn't expecting this thing to, again, function. I'm really glad it did, because it is an early low serial number, early revision model 2E. So that's at least 2 of my major long running Apple projects I wanted to get done was getting this one, at least seeing what was wrong with it, seeing what it needed, which it doesn't need anything. And also with the Apple III that I did in the last live stream, which is still torn apart because I basically stopped where I was at and I haven't done anything with it yet. So no idea if the next live stream is going to be next week, next Wednesday at about the same time, about 7 o'clock, going until about 8. Trying to do some shorter live streams while I'm still trying to get the hang of it, and also with the hardware issues I'm having. If you have any ideas for a future live stream, let me know down in the comments of the video that I release involving this one, or maybe put in a comment of another video of any ideas for a future live stream. Next week, I think what I want to do is I want to keep tackling this Apple III. See if I can get it to read a floppy. I'm really confused as to what the issue is with it reading a floppy, because I've Between that live stream and today, I tried writing a few floppies using 80D Pro on my 2E, and it's doing the exact same thing as before. So I don't know if it's a drive issue or a board issue or what, because it keeps saying missing integer, which is strange for Apple III to be doing. So yeah, again, like I said, thank you all for watching this live stream. Really hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be ending it here in a second as soon as I basically stand up and walk and shut it off. Look out for some future live streams and some future videos coming out involving hopefully not any Apple based stuff. I kind of want to take a break from some Apple stuff because I've been doing a lot of it lately. I do have a Apple video planned, which is kind of a spur of the moment one because I literally picked one up that I wasn't expecting to pick up. So that one's going to be kind of slid into the line because it's something that I want to test out and see if it works as well. And I also have some non-Apple stuff I need to get done too, including hopefully some Commodore fun. So be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you all so much for watching this live stream, and hope you have a great night. And I'll see you all in the next one.